In today's video, I'm going to show you how to spawn these platforms that you can jump on. And if you stick around, I'll show you how to make the platforms so they can expand as they spawn. So see how it gets bigger. First of all, we're going to need a few things, right? So we need to make the platform that you're going to spawn. We need to make an input, so a button that you can press to make it spawn, and then we have to build the code to do that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go into your content folder, and under third person you see input. Go to input and then go to actions, and then click up the drop down menu with right click and go to input and create a new input action. And you can call this whatever you want, spawn platforms, drop, whatever you want to call it. I just call it drop. And then save it, then go to input, the input folder, then go to the IMC default, and then you need to just add it to your mappings. So see this little bit here, click that. For some reason, there's a little bug here that when you click the action mappings, it puts you on the second from last. So make sure that you put it on the one at the very bottom. So you click on that drop down arrow and then see IA drop, click that, and then see that bug that I'm on about. It's opened it back up to the one above. So make sure that you've got it below, and then you just map it to any key. So let's just put it on the A key. Right, so you've got your action mapping, and now you wanna put that action mapping into your game just so it's there. So go to your third person character or first person character, whatever it is, and then just right click IA and then drop. So that's there now, and then that's your action mapping. You don't have to do this, by the way. You can just put a debug key, so you can just like have debug key 1, and you can just practice with like that way. But I like to make my inputs. I do. So right now the next thing we need to do is make the platform. So you could make a new folder in your thing, and I just call these folders all sorts of stuff. I just call them like smelly and I just call them random names. Right, so I've made a new folder. Now what you want to do is you want to make an actor. So go to blueprint class, and now we're making the actual platform that will be spawned. So go to actor and just call it platform. You can call it whatever you want. A lot of people put like underscore BP for blueprint or anything, but naming stuff is really up to you. Whatever you can memorize in your head, you can just name whatever you want to name stuff, really. You don't, like, a lot of tutorials will tell you underscore BP underscore UI, and but as long as you remember all that stuff in your head, it's fine. Right, so you have created your actor, you open it up, and then you can just put it at the top there, so you've got your windows at the top. Right, and now all you want to do, so you're in your platform now, just add a cube. This will be your platform. I like to make it so it's like 0.04. That's pretty much all you need to do, is just make a cube. So that it doesn't even have to be a cube. It could be a cylinder. You could put a, can you have cylinders on this? Yeah, so you could just put a cylinder, and that could just be 0.03. So you could just have a cylinder instead of a platform. So, you know, literally whatever you want to spawn, it could be anything. It could be a stairs or anything. So let's just put the cube back in. Cube, make it size 0.03. Right, so now we've got our platform, and we've got our input to trigger to throw the platform. Now we just need to make the code to spawn the platform. So go back into your third person character, and what you're going to want to do, let me move this stuff over there. Right, so we're back at our input. What you want to do is you want to make a custom event. So add, you just search in custom event, add custom event, and basically this is like a thing that you can trigger. So you could call this custom event anywhere, and what we're going to do is we're going to call it from our input, which is the pressing the A button. So like so I name this custom event drop. So go up here and name it drop. Right, so when I trigger this, look, and go and type in drop, look, it's there because I made it there, right? But that's got no code in it yet, so it won't do anything. So what we want to do is we're going to need some information because we want to spawn these platforms in the world. So the information that we're going to need is pretty much just where you want to spawn it, right? And to get a lot of information from when you're triggering stuff, you want to use a line trace. Line traces are absolutely invaluable in Unreal. So line trace by channel. I do need to learn a lot more about line traces. So I'm not like super knowledgeable about all this stuff, but line traces are really valuable. You can get a lot of information from them, and I'll show you why now. So right, so we're in third person, right? If we just sort of play the game and we're just walking around, right? Our camera is following our player, right? And we want to spawn our platform just slightly ahead of that player so we can jump on them. So what we want to do is we want to get our follow camera and we want to get the world location of this. So get world location. Make sure that you're getting and not setting. Get world rotation. And then from the world rotation, get a forward vector. Get forward vector, and the forward vector gets a position of something and goes forward from that point in vectors. So you want to add them two together, and then you want to put that into the start. So that is where the line trace will start, right? And now what you want to do is you want to get your follow camera again, and then you want to get world rotation, and then you want to get forward vector again. So you can just copy and paste. So you could just highlight them and copy and paste to get them three same nodes. So from the forward vector, you want to multiply it because you don't want to just be 0 forward vector. You want to multiply it out as far as you want it, right? So you get the forward vector and you multiply, right? And then you add the start point and you add the forward vector multiply point, and then you add that, you put that into the end, right? But this is still 0, so that will just be, it won't have any effect. Watch, I'll show you. So for duration, add that into the line trace and then call up drop. Right, so basically we're calling that function that we've just made, right? And what I just typed there about for duration, it's going to show me where my line trace is, but remember it's not going to show anything because it's on 0, right? So compile that. I'm an idiot, right? I don't want the input action to be A because A is left and right, right? I'm an idiot, right? I should have clacked that to start with. So let's go back to the input action, and what we made drop was A. We don't want it to be A. Let's just make it F. Right, the F key. Right, sorry about that. It's like I said, the line trace is not showing anything because it's just forward vector from 0. Right, so what you want to do, go back to your custom event that you're making, and on here, right click on these on this little pin here, and go to float single precision, and that will turn it all into one number. And then you want to say, let's say about 800. And don't forget, if you've got a spring arm or a follow camera or something, that target arm length is 400, right? So you've already 400 will only get you forward vector from the camera will only get you to your player. So if you add another 400 on top of that, let's say 800, and now if we see what the line trace is doing now, the line trace is going 400 ahead of the player. Look, see, right? And it's not hitting anything. So what this line trace is doing is it's getting information from the camera 800 ahead, well 400 ahead of the player, but 800 ahead of the camera, and it can collect any information it needs from there. But we get that information by going to the end of the line trace and going out of this out hit and putting break hit result, right? And break hit result gives you a load of information. These are really good because look, now we could, like say, I'm not an expert on line traces or hit results or anything, right? But there's some of these things that I do use. So like impact point is a really good one. Hit actor is a really good one. And trace end is a really good one, right? So what we want to do is we want to come out of the return value and make a branch, right? And the branch is saying, does this line trace hit something at any point? Does it hit something? And if it does, it's true. If it doesn't, it's false, right? But we don't want the trace to hit something because we want to spawn a platform. So we don't want the line trace to hit something. We want it to spawn where that line trace ends. So really, we want the false off this. So you see this trace end, you want to promote this to a variable, and now this variable is wherever this line trace ends. So you click that onto false, right? And then the trace end is where that line trace is ending, but we don't want it to hit something. So now at this point, this trace end, we want to go spawn actor from class. And can you guess what the actor from class is that we're going to spawn? I'll spoiler alert, it's the platform that we made. So just type in platform BP, the platform that we just made, right? But it doesn't know where to spawn it yet because the spawn transform doesn't have any information. But what information do we need? The trace end information. So you see this little thing here, we click that into spawn transform. Now, when we spawn, that's the platform is coming where it ends. But look, it's done loads of them. So what I like to do, right? So yeah, basically just that's your trace end information. You go to spawn for platform. What I like to do is put at the start of this custom event, I use these nodes a lot. I'll show you. It's just a do once. So now it will only do this once. So now we're spawning our platform. But look, we can't spawn another one because we told it to only do once, right? So what you need to do, if you look on these do once nodes, it's got a reset, which means it will allow you to just do it again. So what you need to do is come to the end of your code where you spawn in the platform and add a little delay. So this is basically how often, how repetitive you can do it. So say you want to be able to spawn a platform every 1 second. Come out at the end of the delay and go into the reset of the do once. Now look, I'll be able to spawn a platform every second. But see, look, them platforms are still there, right? They're still in the game. You might want it like that. You might want it so you're actually building worlds up. So you can do it like that. So basically, like in your game, it might be that you want to build a platform that will always be there. You might want to be building like, because these things don't have to be a platform. You could be spawning anything. It could be a wall. It could be it could be anything. So basically, I'm just going to run over what we've done. We've took the information from the camera and we've added that to the start of the line trace. Then we've got the follow camera and we've multiplied it by 800, and that's the end. So that line that's going across. And then from that information, we've got trace end. We've took the end of the line trace and we're spawning the platform from that. Then after the platform's been spawned, we're saying after 1 second, allow the player to be able to do it again by resetting the do once node. So if you don't like that red line that's on there, it's because that's just for debug purposes. So you don't need to have that red line on, right? You can just go to your line trace and you can just go none. Once you know it's all working, I don't use the debug stuff much, to be honest, anyway. But like I say, I'm not a professional. I'm just learning myself. So yeah, but I don't use print strings or anything like. Yeah. So you've got your platform, and that's pretty much it, right? So you can just spawn these platforms wherever. If I wanted to do it more than every 1 second, I just change this delay. So you can leave notes in your code as well. So say for example, you just wanted to leave a note on this delay, you could just press C and just put this is every the rate that I can spawn it or whatever. You can just press C over a node and add a comment, and then you just type your comment in there, and that that could just be how you want to keep notes in your code. What was I going to say? Okay, so we've got the platform spawned, right? And they're spawning it. They're able to spawn every 1 second, right? But they're just staying there. Say you don't want the platforms to stay there, right? What you need to do is go to your platform BP or whatever you called your platform, and then in the event graph, just go to event begin play, go delay, type delay in there, and then after delay, type destroy actor, and then the delay will be how long you want it to stay there for. So let's just say 1 second again. So now you'll see that when I spawn these platforms, after 1 second they're gone. See, and that's pretty much how you do it, right? So say you wanted to add some animation to them platforms, so you wanted it so that when you spawn the platforms, they do that and they grow bigger and that sort of thing, right? What you need to do is you need to go into your platform BP. So you want to add a timeline, add timeline, and call this whatever platform size. Double click on your platform and it will come up. On your timeline, it will come up there. So you've got your event graph there, your viewport, and then on this panel is your animation timeline, right? Click on track and add a float track, and then make it say 0.2, and that's the length of the timeline. And then right click on this and add key to float curve 0, and then press 0 on the time, and then value is 0 because that point there starts at the 0 time and has 0 value. Then go up a bit and then click add key to float, right click, add key to curve float, and then see this blue dot. Click on the blue dot that you've just made, and then put in the time 0.2. So this is where this is at 0.2 time, and put the value as 1, right? And then it will shoot up high because that's where it is. But what you can do is zoom to fit horizontal, zoom to fit vertical, and then that's just like that there. And then you can highlight these two, and it gives, and double highlight them both, and then right click and go user, and it will give it a more curvier type time, right? So this is just a timeline. It hasn't got any, doesn't know what to do with this timeline. You've just made a timeline. That's all you've done, right? So what you want to do is out of new track, go lerp, and then it will be in the A, but you don't want it to be in the A. So press Alt and left click and take it out of there. Put it into the alpha, and then just put what is it now? Yeah, just put 1, A, 0 to 1, A and B. There might be a lot of other ways to do this, but right. So then go set, come out of update and go set relative scale, and for the cube, right? And then where it says new scale 3D, put split structure pin, and then put return value into 0, into X, return value into Y, and then on new scale 3D Z, see what size you made the Z, 0.03. So you put that as 0.03, right? So now we've got a timeline that will make that platform go bigger, right? But we need to put it when that platform starts its life. So the platform starts its life at the event begin play. So whenever the event begin plays when the platform is spawned is what we was doing. So put that timeline in front, and then go to play, update, and then delay. All right, so now when we spawn our platform, it should just grow now. See. And I was doing it, and now look, it's not spawning, because you know why? Because it's getting a true value, and we set ours to false. And the reason why it's getting a true value is because it's hitting something. So for example, right, we spawn this platform, it line trace goes out into the air and it doesn't hit anything. But if our line trace goes into that wall, it's hitting something. So that means it's returning the value of true, right? So now look, we can't spawn the platform because true doesn't have any value after it. So if it does hit something, we're telling it to not do anything, right? We at least need it to reset the do once. At least we need it to do that, unless you want it to, so you can't hit, if you hit something you can't spawn them anymore. But look, if we go to true and go to reset do once, it means that even if we hit something, we can still spawn our platforms. But look, them platforms are spawning into that wall now, so you won't see them. So what you can do, how long is this tutorial? 27 minutes. Wow. I didn't realize it was so long. Sorry that it's been so long. Right. So what you can do is you can make a code that says if it hits something. So say like here, you could copy and paste these two. No, just copy this one. And it's telling it to spawn actor. And if you hit an actor, promote hit actor to a variable, right? And then put that from true. And then hit actor is the spawn transform. Oh no, sorry, it's not hit actor, it's impact point. So impact point promotes a variable, and then from true, impact point, and the spawn transform in there, and then spawn into spawn platform, then that into the delay as well. So now if we spawn the platform, it's there. If we go to the wall and spawn the platform, it's at the wall. See? If you want to just make the platform so it hasn't just got a white background, you can just add a Fresnel material to it. So if you just make a material, go right click on there, go to material, and then in your material, the material will open up and it will just be like this on its own. Then just go to click on blend mode, translucent, and then copy these nodes. So just right click and search for a Fresnel. Go to emissive color, click on right click and add for a constant free vector, will give you a color, so you can make it whatever color you want, and then you can just multiply it by an amount to get a glow amount, but and then just apply that to your platform. So I don't know if that was super clear, but Fresnels aren't always the best. You might want to just make your own material, because Fresnels do certain things that make them like, so they're see-through and they return like zeros and ones in different places and stuff. I'm not an expert on materials, but yeah, Fresnels can be decent, but they do give them these sort of glowy type of outliney type effect. But yeah, I didn't realize that tutorial was so long, but yeah, sorry about that. I hope that you was able to follow that. I might have to make the tutorial again. I don't know yet. Hope that. Right, but yeah, I hope that helped to some degree. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.